Hello and welcome to Boomer and Beyond Wellness. I'm Angela Fischetti. So today's class indeed is a yoga class. However, this one is going to be a bit more like a tutorial. So we're going to do 10 basic yoga poses, all done with a strap. So the whole idea is to help those of you who haven't worked with a strap before but could really benefit from it. This way you have some ideas on which type of poses and the positions that you're in within those poses that you can use it for. Now, I'm calling this one part 1 because there will be a part 2 for some other postures as well. So the accessories we'll be using today. Well, let's talk about the strap. I today will actually be demonstrating with 2 yoga straps. The reason for this is because they're both different lengths, and I have one preset, my 8-foot strap, to a short loop, and then I'm going to expand upon that. And then the other one is a 10-foot strap, and this is precisely why I love yoga straps and not hard-bound belts that can be really harsh on the hands, especially if people have hand issues like arthritis or Dupuytren's contracture, trigger finger, etc. Also, it's not cost efficient only because yoga straps come in typically between 6 to 12 feet, and if you purchase one 6-foot strap, for certain postures like this one that I'm in, you might need the longer strap. So I would say be cost effective and just get yourself one good long yoga strap. Also, we'll be using a sticky yoga mat, and I'll be using a couple of yoga blocks. Do make sure that they are the same size. And also, for those of you new to yoga, or maybe you haven't used your blocks in a while, this is level 1, level 2, and level 3. Finally, I'm going to suggest for those of you with knee issues that you have 2 folded hand towels available for you. For instance, in this posture, oftentimes tight knees will do this. They'll lift up, right? So you want to have your towel underneath the joint to support it. And I'll also show you later in just a little bit actually what to do in a posture if your knee is hyper flexed or really hyper compressed. So I'll show you that. But additionally, a single hand towel folded up would be an excellent accessory for those of you who are medicated or not for hypertension, have vertigo or GERD. We'll be on the floor near the end of the practice on our backs face up. This is called supine. This is when I'm going to ask you, please, to put the towel under your head. So this has obviously already led me into precautionary measures and medical disclaimers. To elaborate a bit, if you have any chronic health concern at all, then I'm going to ask you, please, to observe the video first before participating. Look for what you can do. However, if you're not sure, then I would invite the medical healthcare practitioner who knows your body best to preview the video as well to help you make an informed decision. Now, more specifically, specific conditions to call to your attention. If you have a latex allergy, please be careful of that mat. If I said it already, I don't care, I'm going to repeat it. It's really important that you do look for a latex-free or non-latex mat, moving deeper into the medical concerns. If you've been told with any back spine issue not to bend down and pick up something, that means not to forward flex the spine. Now, it can also be for those of you with osteoporosis of the spine, as well as the postural deviation known as hyperkyphosis, where the shoulders are kind of hunched. A lot of this class is going to be directed toward issues for you folks. So this is where I'm just going to show you right now in this position of seated wide angle why you would use the strap. Because this position, pretty much folks know that this thing is a forward bend. So by the way, if you can do the practice and you don't need the strap, fine, do it and go as deep into the postures as you would like to. But for those with this back spine flexion issues, that's a problem. So I'm going to ask you to work with your strap, and now you can see why I like long ones, especially for those of us who are 5'6" and above. And you're going to pull with your biceps, depressing the shoulder girdle, pressing the legs down and out. A lot of times people do this stuff with a strap. No, please don't do that. Ease up, but let those bicep muscles take it. And by the way, this is great for the wrist and forearm muscles as well. But we're going to return to this posture in just a few moments, but I wanted to explain to you why for spine flexion, this is so important for this particular class. Now, if you're medicated or not for hypertension, have vertigo or GERD, you already know about the towel under the head when you're on the floor. However, when you're upright, please avoid this position of the cervical spine of the neck. Simple act of dropping your head down, not a great idea. So I'm going to suggest that you folks please hold your heads up, neutral with both the chin and the head. Also, if you have osteoporosis of the hip, or you've had a hip replacement, well, this posture that I love to sit in all the time, this is like very comfortable for me, could be a contraindication for you, because you may have been advised not to bring your legs wide apart. So then don't bring the legs closer together. That's perfectly fine. Also, for osteoporosis of the spine, we will be doing a twisting posture. And you folks may have been advised not to twist at all. So if that's the case, you don't twist, okay? But if you've been told, well, you know, in real life, we turn and twist. Let's say we're sitting at our dining room table and we're passing the condiments to each other. That still is a twist, right? So I'm going to show you specifically how to do the modified twisting version. It is going to be seriously modified, but it will still be just enough to give you the benefit of the posture and keep you functional. But I repeat, if you've been told to do no twist at all, do not try any twist that I'm doing here today. Thank you for that. So now, let's move into the postures. I'm going to stay right here in Upavishta Konasana, seated wide angle pose. So what I like to do is place the hands underneath the buttock flesh, pull the flesh not only straight back, but then wick it out wide toward the shoulders. Then I'm going to rock a little bit from side to side. What am I really doing here? I'm feeling for the ischial tuberosity, the sits bones. Now we know that this is a forward bend. So for those of you who want to do the forward bend, you can use your block out in front, your fingertips, and you can go for it all the way if you wish. But this class is really about showing how to do these postures with a strap. Your choice to use it or not, okay? But if you have the issues we've mentioned, please use the strap. So this is your job, folks, with the back spine flexion issues. You're going to bend the elbows, push out through the heels, press down in the underside of the legs. There's always oppositional movement in yoga going on at all times. Depress the shoulder girdle, also known as the pectoral girdle. We are stretching the hip adductor muscles, ADD, the inner thighs, but also I have this beautiful stretch traveling up into the gluteals and the lower back, traveling down along the hamstrings, into the calves, into the Achilles tendon, even into the soles of the feet. And in yoga, we suggest that all the breathing be done in and out through the nose. And you want it to be a soft breath, folks, not this staccato stuff. Breath of fire is something else, but sometimes people have a very uneven breathing pattern and a sound. So just listen to something that's gentle, quiet, and smooth. Now I'm going to remove the strap, and I'm going to take the other strap because it's preset for this. I'm also going to grab my yoga blocks, bring them to the inside of the lower legs. I'm working on level 2 today. Now technically, if you have the ability, we're going to do a side bend. We're going to, in yoga, we're adding what's called parsva, side or flank, to the Upavishta Konasana, the seated wide angle. So I'm going to take a hold, my peace fingers wedged between the big and second toe. Wrap those peace fingers around the big toe, bend that left elbow, and push it into the inner right leg. And you can bring the right hand to your waist if you want. However, for those of us who just can't reach and do that, then I'm taking my shorter strap with that preset little loop, see? And I also like the yoga straps because of the belt buckles, and loop it over the foot. I'm gonna slide the blocks close enough up toward me so I can get the forearm and elbow on the block. Now, I'm gonna pull on that strap with my right hand, and I'm gonna travel those fingers to my right iliac crest, that high hip bone, and I am pushing that hip back while spiraling the heart up and away from the floor so I'm not collapsing the left side organs. Breath in and out through the nose. Now when you're full out doing this and you're holding on to the toe, you can bring the arm up, you can diagonal the arm, whatever works best for you. Even like this, you can feel free to work this way. Just don't let this hip drop forward. So inhale, turn that right palm up, grab a hook. Exhale, push down into the hips, reach out, come back to center, bring the palms to the heart and breathe. And just notice if you feel any different from one side of the body to the other. The thing to understand here, what's happening as well, is we are stretching the intercostal muscles between the ribs, and they're responsible for 25% of your respiratory cycle. So remember, if you full out do it, grab the big toe, bend the elbow, push. Otherwise, holding on to the strap, forearm, elbow on the block, I'm going to spiral my right side ribs away from the floor as I pull with my left arm and slide the hand up the strap to that left side iliac crest and push that hip back. This is no joke. This is very deep because this is an external or a lateral rotation coming from the hips. Breath is in and out. You can sail that arm up. You can diagonal it, turning the heart center up and through your arms up toward the ceiling. Inhale, turn the palm up, grab a hook. Exhale, push down to come back to center. And let's bring the palms together to the heart. Now focusing just for a few moments on a little bit more breathing. What I'd like you to do is just place your hands on your side ribs, and we're going to come into an accordion breath. We don't want to muscle it up to push the hands out wide. Just let the breath take it. And now I'm going to bring the legs out in front. I'm going to probably scoot back a little bit, so this way we have feet on camera. And let's have you windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Tap them out. From here, I'm going to come on a little bit of a diagonal, and I'm going to bring the soles of the feet together. The heels are about 1.5 feet, 2 feet out in front. And I'd like you, I'm just going to do a little adjustment here, to take a hold of your shins and use those strong arms so that you can sit up and forward. Breath is in and out through the nose. Now I have to tell you something. There are many people who cannot grab their shins while sitting on the floor. So you take that strap, let's put it to use, and you bring it around on top, cross it under the shin, and you hold on to the strap and press your elbows down and out into the fleshy part of your inner thigh, never your inner knee. So the idea is if you want to shift forward, remember back spine flexion issues, you're going to stay upright. You can, and of course, if you have the range of motion and you don't need the strap, you folks would slip the hands underneath the shins, take a hold of the top part of the foot, the dorsal side, and pull. And the whole idea for all of us is to reach and lengthen forward. So I'm going to take a hold of the strap again and breathe. So this is just beautiful stuff for the hips as well as the sacroiliac joint, really important. And yeah, it's a bit of a variation on a Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose, also known as bound angle posture. And then inhale, slowly come up. Keep your feet there. Exhale, I'm going to release the one strap, grab the other one. And now, I was debating if I wanted to do like a trim clip over here. I don't want to. I want you folks to see that it's a little bit of a challenge to do this, so therefore you'll know what to expect. I'm going to create a much larger loop here, way bigger. Then I'm going to flip it over my head, behind my back, get my arms over the top. I'm going to scoot the buckle to the side a little bit, and then bring the other end of the loop over my feet. Now you can choose to stay like that and hold yourself upright. However, I do want to work toward Baddha Konasana, cobblers, which means you start to inch the feet closer. Well, then this thing just becomes silly because it's just too loose, right? So that's where you begin to pull on the strap and draw the feet closer. And I'm really holding, just get my top down before it goes all the way up. And you can work here if you want. I'm going to go a little tighter. Yeah, that's great. Oh, it feels good. Really great. I'm going to press the elbows down and out into those inner thighs. Now, this is one of those highly compressed knee postures, hyperflexed. You would use the towel and wedge it in behind your knee. I'm going to show you that in a posture in a little bit. Breath in and out through the nose. Now, if you do use towels wedged in behind the knees, oftentimes folks need to add their blocks underneath the knees as well. The blocks are there to help you support joints. So if you have that range of motion, without the strap, you would turn the soles of your feet up toward the ceiling as if you're reading a book on the soles of your feet. And breath in and out. But for those who need to stay upright a bit higher, you have the strap here to help you. And then slowly come up. Just experience what it's like. You're just kind of being supported by that strap. It's fantastic. Now to release it, well, I've got to give it a little slack here, right? And slowly slide that out. Pull it out from your feet. and over your head. Now, I'm going to face you. Bringing my left leg out in front, but I'm going to scoot back so you can see the bottom of the foot. So here's where I'm going to show you for seated head to knee pose, Janu Shirshasana, how you can use those towels with your knees. So I'm just going to roll it up lengthwise, right? And as if it's soaking wet, I'm going to wring it out like a dish rag. Wrap it behind the knee, around the front. Don't tie it. Don't worry if the front part falls to the floor. So oftentimes, the knee will pop up a bit. Don't play with that. Just put a block underneath it and you're set. Now, I'm going to remove it because I don't need it. And you'll find that it doesn't work for those who don't need it. Okay, so now, this is where I want to instruct you a little bit differently. For the males in the house, because I know there are some of you out there working with me, I want you to bring that leg straight out in front. For the females in the house, I need you to go 1 to 2 inches out wider. Now, I'm pulling that left hip back. I'm literally pulling it back while kind of inching that right hip forward. Now, we're going to take the strap and loop it around the foot. So it is again, another type of forward flexion. I want you to think, females, that you're bringing your right shoulder toward that left big toe. Now I'm going to go for it for the moment for those of you who would like me to show that. For the rest of us who want to use the strap and need to stay higher, that's fine. You just pull, push, biceps, the same concept. Shoulder girdle, pec girdle, depressed. Belly button is in. When you are all the way folded forward, from an Eastern anatomical perspective, this is an excellent posture for your kidneys, spleen, and liver. I'm here to tell you, for the younger females in the house who still get their menses, if you have cramps, any kind of compression on the abdomen, whether in your back, folding forward, it's really great for you. Just take a couple of more breaths here. And those who cannot forward flex at all, you stay right up here. And this would be beautiful for the erector spinae muscles. Actually, all the back erector muscles will benefit. And then inhale, you come up. And then exhale, let's release this. Careful. Hand underneath the knee, slowly lift it. And for the moment, I want to release that compressed knee for you. So let's extend the leg out. Now look what I'm doing. My hand is behind the knee, not on top. I see a lot of people doing this. That's nice, it feels good, but I'm really looking to lengthen the muscles and ease that bent knee down to the ground. Ease the joint. Holding here. And now, I want to come into a half spinal twist, half fish. So I'm starting on my real left, your right side. But this is where I need to caution for those of you with osteoporosis of the spine, all right? So we're gonna bend the knee. Now, there is a window here of the leg. To keep your twist tiny, if you've been told you can do a tiny twist, all right? To keep it tiny, you're going to bring your arm under the window of that leg and hug that thigh right up against, and we're all going to do this, the ascending colon side here of the abdomen, which is your right side. I'm actually on my descending side, but you know, that's okay. And you're going to hug it in, bring your arm up, cup your fingertips behind you. You use your arm as a second spine and you push out through the extended leg. Inhale, roll that right shoulder back. Exhale, only please turn your head. You're drawing the belly button in. You will get that massage to your colon. However, for the rest of us, if it's a non-issue for twisting, you're going to cross over. Now, this is where knee issues come into play. You can sit on a block, put the towel underneath your knee because your knee will not be supported. Otherwise, you can sit straight out with ankle to knee, lining up with that iliac crest, that high hip bone. For the rest of us, we want to play, well then we can bend the knee, scoop the foot to the outside of the opposite glute. Now this is where I'm going to angle this because this is where the strap's going to come into play. I'm going to bring the strap behind me. I'm going to open it up. First up, we're going to bring the left arm around and we're going to hug that right thigh in. Sit tall, sit into both gluteals. Inhale the arm up, exhale, notice cupped fingertips coming to the floor. We're going to lengthen the spine with the back hand and the front foot that I'm tapping. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, turn and twist. Yeehaw! This is a huge stretch in the lateral rotators that are deep to the gluteal on this right side. Huge. Excellent for those of you who sometimes deal with sciatica or piriformis syndrome, but not a great idea if they are flared up. We don't want to be in an acute state. Then you take the elbow, wedge it to the outside if you want to take this to the next level, and then medially rotate, internally rotate that left shoulder. And see how I'm bringing my fingers in through the window of the legs. Now I can bind, I can even grab my wrist, okay? But some people can't, all right? So this is where the strap comes in. And you bring that strap, the hands, as close together on the strap as you like. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, take your twist. And sit tall, belly button drawn in. Going after that transverse abdominis, the obliques, so much going on. And then inhale the head forward. Exhale, counter twist to the other side. Come all the way back up. Now, I'm going to take this to the next step. You don't have to. For this particular position, folks, this is definitely quite much for those of you with flexion of the knee issues. You can choose to sit on one block or two blocks so you can be much higher, and that will ease up on the hip joints as well. Or just don't do this pose, okay? I'm going to bring the hands to the soles of the feet in Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Inhale, exhale forward. Now I'm not going to drop my head all the way down. I normally do, but I have a microphone right there, so we're not going to do that. And those of you who don't have hip issues but back spine flexion, you're going to stay upright. We've got more to go with this, and we can use a strap on the next part. Inhale, lift up, exhale, hold. So what you're seeing is my right thigh on top of my left. It's really my left on my right, but whatever. So the right is on top. I'm going to take my yoga strap, drape it over my left shoulder. Left hand to the shoulder, right hand on the left elbow, basically just coming into a standard tricep fitness stretch. However, where I'm going to go with this is a very typical yoga stretch in Gomukhasana, cow face. So now we're going to bring in those little pesky rotator cuff muscles, which is why some of you do not have the ability to bind the fingers behind you, which basically means clasping the fingers of both hands, which I'm doing right now, and then coming into the forward bend. I'm going to come back up on the inhale, exhale, hold. I'm now going to put the strap in both hands. If you have rotator cuff muscle issue, then I suggest with the right arm, you pull down to lift that left elbow higher. Now you've got that bicep muscle helping out, which is fantastic. And breathe, Gomukhasana, cow face. And then easy, whenever you come out of a rotator cuff muscle exercise or stretch, take it easy. You never know what can happen, so go slowly. Now I'm going to bring both legs out in front. I was getting a little laugh there. And push your calf flesh down toward the ankles. I promise you, I vacuumed like crazy, but my beautiful cat T, no matter what, he makes his presence known. And let's windshield wiper the legs. Let's tap out the legs. Now we're going to take that seated head to knee pose next. We're going to go back and repeat the sequence on the other side. So remember, you can use the towel if you wish. Pulling hip back, opposite hip forward. Males, legs straight. Females, give me 1 to 2 inches to the side as I reposition so that I'm squaring off my pelvis and hips forward. So taking the strap around. Did I knot it? Yeah, I think I did. Okay, here we go. Strap around the ball of the foot. I even notice, I like to stretch the toes wide apart as well. Turning left shoulder, left ribs. Tiny little twist in the direction of the right big toe. Inhale, exhale, take it forward. So first I'm gonna do it without the strap, just because my body loves it for the moment. And to show those of you who can do it, then we're going to take the strap, back it up, make it realistic for those of you with the back spine flexion issues. Push, pull, press down in the underside of the leg. Make sure this one is pressing down. If it's popping up, please give it support and you can even take your towel and shove it underneath there if you don't need as high of a prop as the block. Janu Shirshasana, seated head to knee. And then slowly come back up. Inhale, exhale. Let's release, easy peasy. Hand underneath the knee. Always support your joint. Push the leg out, and then you're going to push the calf flesh down toward the ankle. Again, just give them a little shake out. Now we're going to move into the twist. So osteoporosis knows what to do. For the rest of us, cross over, knee issues, know what to do. And for the rest of us, like so, but I'm going to turn this way. I was turned in the wrong direction. And put the strap behind me. Whew, my AC is not on and I'm starting to feel it. And you will feel it. If you go deep into these twisting postures, it's all about detoxifying. You will feel it. So I'm going to wrap it around, hugging into my ascending colon side, but your descending colon side. I'm kind of messy here, so you'll have to forgive me. Inhale the arm up, exhale, take it behind, cupped fingertips, front foot, all acting as another spine to keep you sitting nice and tall. For those of you who want to go deeper, wedge the elbow, right elbow outside of that left thigh. Medially rotate from the shoulder. Here it is. And maybe you can grab fingers. Maybe you can grab your wrist. It's up to you. But if you can't grab either, you're going to work on grabbing that strap. Shoulder down. Big, huge, huge stretch in the left gluteals, left lateral rotators. Why? Because you're in a medial rotation. That's why. Inhale, head forward. Release the strap. Exhale, let's take it. Counter position. And then inhale to come up. Exhale, I'm going to lift and just face you. And slide it on over. Get here in the middle. Yep. So let's get that strap positioned behind our backs on the floor. So get that available for the moment, all right? Hands to the soles of the feet. For those of you who can full out, do the pose. Inhale, exhale for the first part. And definitely feel free here to let the head go unless you're medicated or not for hypertension, have vertigo or GERD. For the rest of us, then the head can go down. But not me. We've got a microphone. So then I'm going to slowly come back up, hold here. Now take that strap and drape it over your right shoulder. We're going to come into that standard fitness tricep stretch where we want that elbow to point straight up and inch the hand as much as you can behind the head. And breathe. Now inviting the rotator cuff muscle to join in. And for those of you who can bind, which I'm doing right now, interlocking the fingers of both hands together, and then I come into that forward bend. And you want to talk about a hip stretch? Ooh la la. Particularly the top thigh into that hip. Otherwise, we're going to grab the strap, both hands. And remember, bottom hand, bottom arm pulls down, especially if there's any pre-existing rotator cuff muscle issue in that left shoulder. And if you want to take it forward a bit, you can. Except back spine flexion. Inhale, slowly come up. Exhale, ooh la la, be careful, be careful. As you lower down, let's release the strap. I'm going to bring the toys up on this side. Bring this down this way. And be careful now. Legs out front. There's always that moment of releasing the knees. It's like, wow. And windshield wiper, tap, tap, tap. Now, for the next one. This one is called Upaya Padangushtasana, both big toe pose. But I'm going to first have you come into what I call upright Pavana Muktasana, wind removing. Now for full out upright version, you pull all the way in and take a hold of the elbows. You've got your arms crossed across those shins, right? Shoulders back and down, and you can even let the head go if you'd like. But what about those of you with knee flexion? This is just out. But what you can do, provided you have some bend of the knee, you can bring your feet out in front, legs are together, and you can slip your elbows underneath your thighs and hold that way. And for those of you with the back spine issues, this might be kind of nice as well because it'll help you be able to stay upright. Now, for the rest of us who want to full out do the posture without the strap, grab a hold, these fingers, both hands, big toes, yogi toe lock, inhale, exhale, take it up. So the chest is up toward the ceiling. Shoulders are back and down. Heart center is lifted. Now let me show you here with the strap. Let's come up a little bit more. We come in and up. Pull from biceps. Shoulders back and down. Toes stretched wide apart. This is a wonderful way to do this. It's not really boat pose, right? Boat pose, the legs are a bit lower. Now you can turn this into Crouchasana. You can do one leg at a time. It's a modified version of it, but why not? And then we can bring the knee or knees into the chest, set the feet down. From here, we're going to come onto our backs. So gentle reminder for those of you medicated or not for hypertension, have vertigo or GERD. Towel underneath your head, please. One towel, not two, all right? I don't want your head too high. So 3 ways, you folks know this, but I'm gonna review it anyhow. 3 ways I like to come down onto the back. Knees are bent, support behind the thighs. You come down 1 elbow at a time. The other option is literally through a spine flexion. You're rolling down, so not great for those who cannot do spine flexion, right? And the final option, legs out in front. If your back feels strong, if your abdominals feel strong, and with your feet pointed down, that means plantar flexed, arms out in front, you can take your time to slowly roll down onto your backs. Then from here, I want you to bring your knees up into your chest. Take your strap, bring it around the balls of your feet, and push those legs up. Pull on the strap, shoulders back and down, belly button is in. I want to make sure I'm straight up there. And breathe. Viparita Karani. This is a variation of legs up the wall. We're not using a wall, obviously. You can do this not holding on, and boom, this is an enormous amount of core work, folks. Fantastic for you, but it is a strap class, right? Hold here. Now this posture is excellent for insomnia, depression, and it's actually one of the few inversion postures you can do, medicated or not, for hypertension. Good for varicose veins. Now, if you are going to use this for insomnia, do not do it this way before you go to bed, because this can actually energize us. What you do is actually go to a wall, legs up the wall, and it becomes a beautiful restorative posture for you. Then if you want to play a little bit, and you want to make sure your strap is kind of even on both sides, you can work on, he read it out into my mouth, a reclining wide angle, right? Supta Konasana. And then we can also slide and pull with the arms and release, because I don't really like wrapping straps around the hands. Hold here for another moment or two. And then inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, feet to the mat. We're going to bring the legs straight out in front for one final posture with the strap. So what you can do here, and particularly if you're doing a yoga practice in a very well-lit room like I am right now, and you prefer not to, then in your Shavasana, in your final relaxation, double up the strap and place it across your eyes. And then relax the arms down alongside of you. Palms up, heart center opened up to the heavens as you sink your body into the ground. The light and spirit within me honors the light and spirit within you. Thank you so much. Namaste.